start this. Okay, welcome.
You
Uh,
died on me.
so we're going to do is talk about the big holiday coming up. What's the big holiday coming up?
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is coming. And the question is, listen, Americans don't take part in Halloween. We don't take part in a lot of other holidays that America has. Things like Labor Day, not particularly. It's something that everybody sort of does. It's not really like a sit-down feast kind of thing. But for all the feastly things that we do, we don't join the Xmas stuff. We don't join a lot of the other 4th of July. It's not something that a lot of people run out and do 4th of July things like barbecues and stuff. You might barbecue because it's a nice day, but few people, and will watch the fireworks, but it's not something that, Americans necessarily, Jewish Americans make a point of doing. It's something as Americans we do. But what about something like Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was actually one of the holidays that the Rebbe was very strong about, and it was something that he felt was important for all of us to recognize Thanksgiving. Now, it doesn't mean we sit down with a turkey and fight at the table, and have all those normal uh, Thanksgiving normal sort of things happening. But we have to look at it from what is Thanksgiving really? And we're not talking about the Pilgrims. We're not talking about Plymouth Rock. We're moving away from the story because the story actually itself is very questionable about how Americans scripted Thanksgiving versus how it really was. It was actually a bloody revolution against the indigent people that were there, and Americans did not take it in a very nice way, and nobody sat down to break bread and have a cornucopia and enjoy each other's company and share turkey and have yams together. It was not like that. So it was actually a lot more violent than that. So we're not talking about the historical Thanksgiving. We're talking about the concept. What's the concept of Thanksgiving? We're talking about gratitude, talking about light in the world, redemption, America's spiritual mission. So the Rebbe was very strong in America's spiritual mission. He knew that things had to happen here in order for there to be um, uh, this radical move towards something spiritual that would make America a place of holiness, a place where we can be who we are. So let's explore Thanksgiving. We're stepping into a deeply Jewish concept. It's called Hakaras Hatov. Maybe you've heard of that before. Hakaras Hatov means that we're giving forward, that we're giving credit where credit is due. It means having gratitude. So it's the soul's instinctive gratitude. It's our deep gratitude that goes deeper than thank you. It's the fact that we realize how important somebody is and how they make they make a dent in this world. And so as we're doing this in the month of Kislev, which is the month we're in now, a month that Hasidus describes as a month of miracles, a month of revelation, a month of hidden light, and a month when the essence of the Jewish soul shines with unusual clarity. So we're going to kind of dig into that. What does all that mean? It sounds good, but what does it mean? So it's no coincidence that Thanksgiving almost always falls in the month of Kislev. Almost always, except for when it goes really early in the year. These two things which would be the national gratitude, and Jewish light are spiritually entwined. So let's delve into that a little bit. We'll explore Thanksgiving through the lens of the Rebbe, the way that the Rebbe explained it. The gratitude as taught, as we learn in Tanya, as we learn in Hasidus, the mystical meaning of the month of Kislev, how America and Kislev together create a unique spiritual opportunity, and how to transform this time into personal redemption and healing. So, great concepts. We're going to take all this and look at this from a different point of view. So, gratitude as a core Hasidic principle. So let's explain this, okay? Moda Ani, we say in the morning, right? We say, thank you, God, for giving me my soul. Moda Ani lefanecha melecha v'kayam, shehech azarta bi nishmasi v'chem haraba munesacha. Thank you for giving me my soul and returning to me with mercy. We talked about that many times. That God doesn't have to return our soul to us in the morning. He could keep it for himself, considering that it's his, but he allows us to keep our soul, so he returns it to us. So it says that Kislev is a month when the hidden becomes revealed. Its root letters are Chav Samach, which is beginning kiss, and Lamed Vez, which is Lev. We use a Vav, but Vav and Vez are interchangeable. They come from the same place of the mouth, or the lips. So you can interchange letters when they come from the same place. So Kislev means hidden within the heart. So Kislev is a month of things that are hidden. And we have to understand that it's a covered light. It's like the embers of the barbecue. When you don't think it's hot, because it doesn't look hot, and then you blow on the embers and they become ignited. So just as Moda Ani is said before understanding awakens, so in the morning we wake up, even before you know what you're going to do that day, even before you have any plans put in place, even before you get up to get a drink of water, even before you use the bathroom, even before anything you do, first thing you say in the morning is Moda Ani. Moda Ani lefanecha melechai v'kayam, shehech azarta bi nishmasi, v'chem l'rab b'munesecha. God's name does not appear in any of that, because we have to wash our hands and cleanse our mouth and use the bathroom before we say God's name. So in the morning we wake up, we say Moda Ani, which reveals an energy. Kislev's energy is that the deepest spiritual truths are revealed without barriers. So we're going to go into that because that obviously plays into Chanukah. So Kislev is a month when the hidden gratitude inside the heart comes to the surface. So, sometimes we deal with people who are hard-headed. Not all of us. I mean, I've dealt with hard-headed people. I'm sure most of us have. And we understand the concept of talking to somebody and trying to get through to them and carrying on and moving forward and trying to get them to understand. And then you feel like it's hopeless. You feel like this person is never going to understand me. And then suddenly this breakthrough. They suddenly put two and two together, and there's this new light shining in. It's just a whole new understanding, and it is just amazing. At that moment, you've broken through their heart. You breached that barrier. So that's what we're talking about. That's the month of Kislev. We're breaching the barrier. So what is that? It's the idea when the hidden gratitude inside the heart comes to the surface. It's when a person can connect on a much more intrinsic level. So let's delve into all this, because this is all good, but we take it from the source. So we're going to take it first, talking about it from Tanya. So what does Tanya tell us? Chapter 2. So the soul's natural states, the natural state of your soul. You may not be in connection with your soul, may not fully understand your spirituality. You may not understand how the soul differs from your consciousness or everything else. That's all very deep and beyond the scope of what we're talking about. As we're talking about the soul natural state, whether you feel it or not, is bittul, meaning that self-nullification of being humble and humility and gratitude. It's the other parts of us that get in the way of gratitude and humility. We tend to step on ourselves, and we don't give the attitude of gratitude, as they say. We don't go out, and we're too busy being jealous about somebody else's good things. We can't find the gratitude internally to be happy for somebody in their time of happiness. So that is something that stands in the way. A real problem is that sometimes we don't appreciate the people around us. We want to, but we have a little envy in our heart. We want things to go a certain way. We want to feel connected in a certain way. And what happens is we sometimes come across in a very negative way with other people. And the other side of that is, is that bittul, we want to be able to have self-nullification, and we want to be able to have gratitude for somebody else. So when you go to somebody's wedding and you go there, you don't necessarily know the person, but you know the family, and everyone's dancing and celebrating for the groom and the bride. Are you able to jump in there and celebrate with them? Are you able to go in there and just lose yourself and become part of the excitement, because it's not a self-serving excitement? Nobody's turning around saying to you, "Hey, it's so nice you came. You know the bride, you know the groom, you came here because you're excited for them." No, I just came to share my happiness with them because they're getting married. That's a true sign of gratitude. It's a beautiful thing. So, what's the next thing it says? It says in chapter 33, joy from recognizing the constant divine creation, realizing that God creates you every second, recreating you every second. God is there recreating you every single second, making sure that you exist. Do we have gratitude for that? Are we gracious to God? Do we take that little bit of time aside in the morning to pray and say thank you? Do we do something in a way where we have that bittul, that self-nullification, and at the same time, can we find the gratitude to give back, to say thank you? So in the month of Kislev is a month when we're really looking at this and saying, how can we reveal the good inside of us? So we're going to tie in, of course, Chanukah, and how Chanukah is the idea that lighting the Chanukah candles actually it brings light into the world, dispels the darkness, and it also lights our heart. It also makes us a lot more connected, and we are able to get rid of the darkness in the world by ourselves being illuminating the darkness. So Kislev awakens these qualities because Kislev is the month of redemption, talking about bringing light into the world. The redemption is recognition of Hashem's presence in the world, realizing that God exists in this world along with the others, and the other four the four worlds. Three are spiritual, one is physical, and that the recognition of Hashem should bring us overflowing gratitude. Do I have overflowing gratitude? I work on it. I try. I don't always. Sometimes, that feeling of like sometimes it was what that book I read when it was on my book in my basement was if life is a bowl of cherries, why am I in the pits? The idea of like always feeling bad for yourself, always feeling like life is always throwing you something, whatever. You can look at that as a challenge, or you can look at that as an opportunity. Is it a challenge I can't do, or is it an opportunity to succeed? So I'm going to look at it as an opportunity. Look, it's something that's not easy to get over, but I'm going to try my best to try to find the positive and illuminate the positive. So Thanksgiving as the American Moda'ani. So what does that mean? Thanksgiving at its core is like, what has America given us? What has America given us? America has given us freedom, freedom of religion. It might be getting a little tight now, but freedom of religion, freedom of being who you want to be, freedom of speech. And again, these are all challenges again nowadays, but America has given us the ability that we don't have to be underground. We don't have to be in hidden yeshivas. We don't have to be in waiting for pogroms to happen and waiting for things to happen to us that yeah, there's anti-Semitism. There's always been anti-Semitism. It's nothing new. It's been around since the very beginning of time with Abraham and everything happening with Yaakov and Esau we're learning about. There's always been something happening where there's been hatred, and it all started with Yitzchak and Yishmael, and kind of went from there. And we see there's always going to be hatred in the world. There's always going to be anti-Semitism. But this is our challenge. This is our challenge. So we have the opportunity to say that Thanksgiving is our opportunity to say thank you to America. The Rebbe noted many times that the United States was built on the belief in divine providence. E pluribus unum, right? It says with on the back of the dollar bill, in God we trust. The Rebbe was very strong and said that as long as the money of America says in God we trust, then we know that America remains to be a place that we can still do spirituality. Thanksgiving is a collective national moda'ani. Kislev is hidden light becoming revealed. So now we're going to go a little further into what the Rebbe talked about and about Thanksgiving and Kislev. So why does Thanksgiving belong in Kislev? We just mentioned that before, because it says Kislev, that the heart is hidden. So Kislev is the month of public miracles. What's hidden? It's a month of Chanukah. It's a period of hidden miracles, but then we come to Chanukah, and Chanukah is the public miracle. In fact, Parsume Nisa is part of Chanukah. We put the menorahs in the window to show the world that we have to reveal, we have to spread the miracle, we have to publicize the miracle. That's the whole idea of Kislev, is to publicize something that's not hidden. If it was like Purim was a hidden miracle. If you look at the whole Megillah Esther, God's name is not said one time in there because God's hands at work were hidden. In Kislev, in Hanukkah, Hashem was very much a part of it, and it was a public miracle. So Thanksgiving is a national acknowledgement of hidden blessings, food, safety, opportunity, freedom becoming publicly recognized, Israel becoming recognized as a state. All the different things that are happening in the world that you couldn't even imagine happening 100 years ago. You can imagine even at the conception of America, when things were happening and the signing of the Declaration and all the things that were happening. Yeah, they put in their freedom of religion, all those things. But truth is, look over time, how many people were killed for celebrating their religion. But we see we have to give a korsatov. We have to say thank you to America. Thank you for giving us a platform where we can do what we need to do as Jews, right? It's important. So it says, what was hidden becomes revealed, that which we took for granted, we now give thanks for. So we don't want to take things for granted and not give thanks for it, because we know what that's like. It's like having a guest come to your house who uses all your towels and uses all your soap and all your shampoo and does everything else, and then when they leave, they don't even say thank you or even clean the bed off and pull the sheets, do something to show some sort of gratitude. I want to do something so that you don't have to do all the work. I want to show you that I'm saying thank you. We appreciate that when somebody leaves on that note. When somebody leaves and they don't come back and say thank you, they don't show any sign of gratitude, then it's like you feel cheated, you feel like you've been used. So we have to show it. So the previous Rebbe, the Friedrich Rebbe, which was the Rebbe's father-in-law, said America is nish anders, and America is no different. America is that it what's considered a kingdom of kindness. It's a place where we can connect with holiness. This is deeply connected to the letter associated with Kislev, explained in Sefer Yetzirah, which is the letter Samach. Samach is the circle, right? Samach is the one that is like, put your arms around, becomes like a hug, right? Holding. It's support, stability, sustenance, being taken care of. That's what Kislev is. Kislev is a transformation into being there to support. But it's not necessarily something that jumps out at you. It's that you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to allow yourself to be supported. If anybody deals with grief, trying to deal with the loss of freedom, of loss of a loved one or something else, we understand that the support of people are there for us. People are there to support us. They're there to be there for us. But if we're not receptive to the support, then you can be here to support somebody all day. But if you're not receptive to it, then you're not going to get that support, because you're not going to be willing to accept it and be vulnerable. So we have to allow ourselves to be supported. We have to, as I said, samach, which symbolizes support, stability, and sustenance. So we have to recognize our supporter. Who's our supporter? God, number one. Our families, number two. We have to be our own supporters too. But then the country we live in is supporter too, because it's supporting what we believe in. It's giving us the ability that we can go to shul on Shabbos, and that we can have our own security, and we can have, we can be safe. So the Rebbe taught us that where do we see giving gratitude? Let's go back to the Torah. What could Moshe not do? He wasn't allowed to hit the water, because he had to have, now water is not an object that has a life force that is going to be like, you have to say thank you to it, do you? Yeah, it is. It's a creation, and it saved his life. He was put into the basket, and the water took him over to Basia, who was Pharaoh's daughter, who was able to take him in and take care of him. So the idea is that the water took care of Moshe. Moshe couldn't, and Meseh, which is the Egyptian, says drawn from the water. His name itself was an Egyptian name that meant taken from the water. So he had to give thanks to the water. So when it came time for hitting the water to create the different things to happen, including the water splitting, including creating any of the frogs jumping out or turning to blood or anything else, Moshe was not allowed to hit the water because that would have created a problem where he wasn't giving a karas tov to the water. So we see that the water, which symbolizes his surrounding, just as he has to give a karas tov to the water, we have to give a karas tov to our surroundings. Thanksgiving is not a religious holiday. It's a holiday for spending time together, for having families come together, for showing thankfulness to each other. And that was something that what we have. It's funny, standing in line. I think my wife was standing in line one year. I think it was in Pittsburgh, and she was gathering all the stuff for Thanksgiving and going to have family over and filling up her basket, the cart, and came up and they were like, and there was somebody else in front of her, and they were getting. She wasn't doing Thanksgiving. She was getting for Shabbos, and somebody else was getting stuff for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh, you're having a Thanksgiving meal too? And my wife's like, actually, this is for my Shabbos meal, which is basically a Thanksgiving meal every week. We have what they have for their one day a year Thanksgiving. We have every Friday night and Saturday. We have basically a Thanksgiving meal. So you think about it, we have a karas tov for Shabbos every single week. We're saying thank you to Shabbos, thank you to the Shabbos Queen, thank you to God, thank you to all the things all the holiness around us. So we have Thanksgiving all the time. This one is not a religious day. It's just thanking your country. The theme is completely consistent with Torah. And if you use the day for inspiration, reflection, spiritual awakening, talking divrei Torah, words of Torah at the table, bringing holiness to the table, doing things that will elevate the table, then anytime we sit around and have a meal and share things and do things together, that of course is an opportunity to bring godliness to the table. So having a meal on a Thursday night before you're going to eat again the next night. So you know what? If it makes things better and holier, there's nothing wrong with it. And what about Kislev and the alignment of Thanksgiving? The light of Chanukah begins to shine. You see all the menorahs on people's cars. We see all the things that are happening in public. We see so much of the positivity that's happening out there. The Jewish identity brightens. We feel so good about ourselves. We look and see the menorahs and all the public places lit up as you walk around the city hall and different places. You see the menorah. It brings a great feeling of seeing those things in the middle of the shopping areas, seeing the menorah lit up. It brings such an amazing feeling, and gratitude becomes a spiritual force. Everybody on Thanksgiving, on Hanukkah, feels so elevated. We get to light candles, sing a Ner Zololu. We get to spend family time, give gifts to our kids, Hanukkah gelt. Such a happy, great memories. I'm sure everybody has some kind of great memory from Hanukkah. And when you feel better, the energy of redemption increases. We feel better about ourselves. And that's what we have to continue. So what's the mystical meanings behind Kislev? So we already gone through a lot of them. What Kislev contains, we said before, was the light that's hidden. That's called Or Haganuz. That's the light that's hidden, the primordial light that's hidden. This light is too powerful for the world except in small doses. And during Hanukkah, a spark of this light shines. What is that light? That light is called the Or Ein Sof, God's never-ending light. And we have God's never-ending light. So it's like, for example, if we didn't have the ozone, we didn't have the different atmospheres, we didn't have everything that we had protecting us, and the sun was just shining down on the earth the way that it would shine in general, and you go outside and get hit by the sun, essentially you would be very unhealthy and be very dangerous. So the idea is that there are filters. Filters are the different layers of atmosphere that each one puts on. That then you get to the ozone, and each one, so that when the sun shines down, it's not as dangerous to us. And it says that if that light comes down into the world and were to shine in it, and the God's light were to shine in its full potential, the world would cease to exist. It would just vaporize. So, of course, we can't have that. So it has to come into the world in some way. How does that light come into the world? Through Shabbos candles, through Chanukah candles, through elevating through words of Torah, by elevating spirituality. That's how we let that little bit, like a dam, letting in little bits at a time into the world. Uh, So gratitude is how the soul reacts when hidden divine light becomes visible. As things become visible, we become more gracious. We have gratitude. Ever have when you're sitting and the lights go out, power goes out. Everyone has their candles lit, their flashlights on. Your world is only what you can see that's lit up, and every corner has something dark. You're always afraid you're going to run into something. That darkness becomes thick and becomes concerning. That little bit of light helps. And as soon as the power is restored, everybody does the same thing. Ah, we go. The light's back on. We have light back in the world. We feel good. We're back in the world again. We have light again. So this idea is that gratitude is basically our reaction to the hidden divine light becoming visible. The Alter Rebbe explained that the miracles happen when concealed essence breaks through the concealment of nature. So, for example, uh, a bottle can only hold a bottle can only hold so much liquid, and if you put like a piece of dry ice we used to do this up in California. We would order something that came in with dry ice. So we would take soda bottles, break up the dry ice, put in like a cup worth into the bottom of the bottle, pour water into it, close it, stick it on the outside by the rock, walk like 15 feet away from it, and watch it just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until suddenly, bang, sound like a gun going off. And this bottle, we'd come back and look at it, and it would be in like funny pieces. The pressure would just destroy the bottle. And so, there's only so much of holiness that can contain into one thing. And unlike destroying the vessel, holiness is not held back by the cap. So as that pressure builds, little bits of holiness are being let out into the world. Little bits is being brought into the world. And so as that goes into the world and it breaks the nature of concealment, of holding back all that stuff in the world. So that is where the miracles come in. That is where things happen, where the miracles become revealed. So we know miracles happen every day. Childbirth is a miracle. The fact that child is born, the fact that the nose is located where it is, and the eyes are located where they are, and the mouth is located where it is. Imagine if you were born with your eyes below your nose and your mouth above your eyes, above your nose. Think about you'd be eating, you start dripping orange It's a little bit of orange out of, down your face. It would go over your nose and into your eyes. So it's funny how God worked it out. With the eyes up here, you won't drip into your eyes. So I think it just makes sense. Everything just kind of makes sense. Um, just the way God made everything work. But every child pretty much comes out the same way, unless there's some sort of deformity. So it's a miracle every day. So what else is tied into the month of Kislev? It's associated with sleep and dreams. Sleep and dreams are nice. Um, the sleep and dream is tied into Yaakov's dream. We're going to learn about Yaakov's dream when he has the ladder and the angels going up and the angels coming down. And we learn about his dream that he had. And that concept is that what do dreams represent? Dreams represents subconscious truth, hidden messages, and divine revelation. It says that when we dream, not talking about that dream where you're running around without pants, in the supermarket and realize that, you're in a really bad situation, it becomes a nightmare. We're not talking about those type of dreams. We're talking about dreams where it says that holiness seeps into our dreams. And sometimes when we're dreaming, we can actually see something happening in our dream that may be something that is for us to understand that to take action on. So some dreams have a little bit of prophecy in them, but we don't know what's prophetic and we don't know what is ridiculous. If the prophecy is we'll be running around Home Depot without pants on, then that might be a little scary. You might want to look into that, but that's not the prophecy we're talking about. Talking about someone who has a dream that they saw the third temple descending, and they saw all war come to an end, and they felt the gratitude and love, and they say, was that a little taste of, was that a little taste of a of seeing the beauty of the redemption? So it could have been, but it's something we realize that not all dreams are prophetic, but some of them have little bits of prophecy. So Kislev is tied into dreams, and Thanksgiving functions the same way. Beneath the secular surface of the surface of the secular surface lies a spiritual truth. So we're thanking America, we're thanking God. So again, it's not necessarily that we are doing something to make. We're not saying that America celebrating America is a holy thing. We're just saying that when we're being a good guest in a place where we know our homeland is in Israel, but as long as we're a guest in this country, we have to have gratitude. So, as we are tying up loose ends here, we're just gonna hit two more points here. So, so gratitude as a personal redemption. Tanya tells us, the Alter Rebbe says, that sadness weakens the soul while joy strengthens it. So they do these things, what was it called? The therapies where somebody is sitting there and they put their hands up in front of them like this, and they say, okay, I'm going to push down on your hand while they're telling them something negative. And as they're talking to them and saying negative, their hand becomes very weak. They don't have the same strength. And then there are times talking to them about something positive where they can push on their hand and there's strength holding their arm back. You say, how's that work? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that because when you hear something, when someone says something that is negative, it has an effect on us. We become very negative, and negativity creates a weakness internally in our core, and we actually don't become as strong. And you could push our hand right down, right? Um, when it comes to being positive, so when we're positive, we have a stronger constitution. So Kislev is the month of joy born from revelation, right? Kislev is joy born from revelation because of bringing light into the world. And we look at Thanksgiving again as a joy born from gratitude. When you feel gratitude, are you happy? Usually, unless you're thinking somebody, cheeky, being, not being real. Of course, gee, thanks so much. That's not real. But when you really have gratitude, you feel good. That's why we do it. That's why we hold the door for people. We hold the door for somebody because we want the feeling of feeling good about ourselves. We want to have gratitude because it makes us feel good. And when it comes to Kislev, the month of lighting candles, and Chanukah, when we light the Chanukah candles, the revelation that we bring into the world, singing, dancing around the candles, it's a joy born from revelation. But together they create the perfect environment for emotional healing, spiritual clarity, release from internal exile, letting light into dark places. So this month is about getting out of your own head. Get out of your head. Don't look at all the negativity. It doesn't make a difference what's happening negative around you. Some people are really good at finding the positive. Some people excel in finding the negative. Okay? Let me tell you and be honest with you for a minute here. I know you're saying, oh, no, Moish, he's always seeing the positive. I am not always seeing the positive. I can find the negative in every situation, which is why I'm a great editor. I'm a great auditor. I can sit there and you'll be talking and you'll use 5 of the wrong words you shouldn't have used while trying to be grammatically correct. And I will listen to each one of them and judge you unfavorably on who you are and how you were brought up, because how does anybody mess up their grammar that badly? Okay? I don't think positively in that way. It takes time for me to try to think positively. I have to change my own thinking to think positively. So that's really the truth is this is a time of the month when I have to work on myself too, not just you working on you. I have to work on me too. I'm not perfect. I know you thought I was. I appreciate it, but I'm not. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm always working on myself, but as long as I'm working on myself, I bring people with me to work on to work together. Thanksgiving as Kislev Avoda, as what can we do to serve Kislev and things and Thanksgiving together? So public Thanksgiving, public light. Light the candles. Say thank you Hashem. Light a candle in the middle of your Thanksgiving table and say this light represents our gratitude to God. Reflecting on blessings, uncovering hidden sparks. Talking Torah at the table. Bring something Torah-like to the table. Don't have to talk about Uncle Bob's colonoscopy the whole time. We can talk about something positive. We can talk about something exciting. We can find something positive to bring us together. Family gatherings has unity. We could talk about Chanukah. Chanukah has the word chinuch. Chinuch means dedication and renewal to children, teaching children how to be better kids. We can add that to Thanksgiving. Sit on a table and say, listen, Chaim, what does Thanksgiving mean to you? Let him sit there and explain what it means to him. Let him explain. It's almost like a mini Seder, what a Seder on Pesach is Thanksgiving to God. Maybe Thanksgiving by Kislev is, hey, what does it mean to you? What's the importance? And and everything you do in Thanksgiving can be elevated into something holy, something great. That's our ability to do that. So ask yourself these questions. I don't need an answer. It has nothing to do with me. It's your own answers. So you think about it. You can self-judge yourself on that. So the question is, what blessings in your life has been hidden in plain sight? Think about that for yourself. What blessings in your life has been hidden right in front of you that, and of course, anybody going through grief, they'll tell you that when it came to into their husbands, their wives, or somebody in their life used to sit there and chew their food and drive them absolutely bonkers at the table because the crunching, the chewing, the loud, whatever breathing, and they sat there driving them crazy. And they were just wishing they could somehow get them to stop breathing and stop chewing so loud because it was driving them nuts. At that moment, they think to themselves, how can I listen to that chewing just one more time? How can I hear that mouth breathing one more time? How can I do what I need to do to be able to feel that so that I can feel together and whole again? So that beauty was right in front of you. That blessing was in plain sight. We just couldn't see the beauty until it wasn't there anymore. So let us look for the beautiful things in front of us that don't have to be missing for us to enjoy them. Our children, our grandchildren, our friends, neighbors, teachers, anybody. Let's show a Tov. What miracle did you not recognize this year until now? There's a lot of miracles. Even going to the hospital to have them to have them check you out and finding out that there was something else that was wrong with you. Had you not gone in to have your foot checked out, you wouldn't have known that you had this problem too. So that's a miracle. That's a revealed miracle. How do I recognize it? Who have you not thanked enough? Go find somebody you haven't said thank you to enough. Walk over to them and just say, you know what? I just wanted to call you and say thank you. For what? For everything. Well, you're welcome. I'm so happy that I could do something for you. People appreciate that, and you'll appreciate it. When it comes to right before Rosh Hashanah, I make a lot of phone calls to a lot of different people, and I thank them. Just thank them for being who they are, because it helps me have a better Rosh Hashanah. So, tying this up, the conclusion, okay? So the conclusion is that Kislev is the month when miracles become visible. We look at Thanksgiving as a day America chooses to acknowledge miracles already present. And we have to thank our surroundings and say thank you for giving us revealed miracles. The Rebbe teaches that a Jew must express gratitude to the country, and he teaches that gratitude is the default state of the soul. The way our soul works, its diesel fuel is gratitude. The moment that Thanksgiving, this moment where Thanksgiving and Kislev is the convergence of two spiritual energies. Remember, we can elevate Thanksgiving, and we can elevate ourselves. And when these combine, the heart opens, the mind clarifies, and redemption begins on a personal level. So we just have to say that may this Thanksgiving and Kislev bring revealed good, revealed blessings, revealed miracles for each of us and for the entire world. And let us be able to look at our blessings, to look at the beautiful things that have allowed us to be who we are, that have allowed us to grow as we are, and let us really take into account what we should really be giving gratitude for, and realizing that we can become better versions of ourselves, and that we can grow and grow, affect others, and bring more holiness down into the world. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you are able to take some of these things we talked about and tie them into your holiday, being able to spend time with your family and your friends. You can still talk about whatever you want at the table, and finding positive things to talk about. Also, making hamotzi on the food, on the bread, and we don't make any kind of kiddush or anything, but you could have wine at the table and make a guffin. And every time that we eat something, and every time that we do something to elevate our ability to make Thanksgiving and to make Kislev and all these things to bring out the holiness at the table is another opportunity for us to grow and to affect others. So, wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you.
Same to you. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Rabbi. It was very enlightening.
thank you, thank you. And again, all this will be available online if anybody wants to send a copy to anybody. It'll be
Thank
on.
you for
Yes.
everything and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
You're welcome.
Amen.
So, thanks.
It'll be on YouTube. Okay.
Kiss a stranger.
That Fran,
I hear you.
you hear Fran? She asks, "Who's the stranger?" It's Fran is the one who doesn't have a name.
What, strangers?
Who's a stranger? You said.
I said go kiss a stranger on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Say thank you.
go kiss a stranger. You were breaking up. I didn't hear you. Oh yeah, I didn't say go. I did not say go kiss a stranger. That is not
What
what
did you hear?
She said it.
I thought you said. Who's the stranger? No, no, no. Don't.
No, I said on Thanksgiving, go kiss a stranger on the street.
Yeah,
Ask permission first.
don't do that. Good idea not to. But hey, you be you, Leva. You do your thing.
I did.
Thank
Happy
you all.
Thanksgiving to
Kiss
everybody.
Thanksgiving in
Rabbi.
Albertsons.
I want to share this. I want to share this with my kids. It was very enlightening. Fran.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the I transferred over to YouTube, and then I put it onto the chat, so you'll see it there. And-
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you again.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Talk later.
Bye bye.